I'm here today with Zahl Limbuwala. Zahl is the CEO of Romonet, a company that launched on Tuesday the first in a suite of software products looking at predictability in the data center. He's also the chair of the data center group for the BCS, the Chartered Institute for IT. He has been speaking at this event over the last couple of days, but you are fresh out of a panel discussion which was on the topic of this event, designing for demand. You had Neil Rasmussen, you also had Ed Ansett, and another person.
Tony Reid from HDS.
And Tony Reid from HDS. So you had quite a star-studded panel, so to speak, on this topic. Can you tell us a little bit about the topic and what the outcomes of the panel were?
Yes, it was a great panel, one of the better ones I've done. Really, we were covering the theme for the show, designing for demand. So I actually opened it with a statement that 5 years ago everything was static. The electrical load in the data center was static. Fans ran at a fixed speed, servers ran irrespective almost of what was happening on them. It was a nice flat line, everything predictable. We know we add something to the data center and it'll go up, we take something out, it'll come down. The world isn't like that anymore. We now have variability and dynamic demand within the data center. We've economized these things to make them more efficient. So when the economizer's active, the chiller's not, and the mechanical load now goes up and down depending on the external temperature. We've we've enabled power management on IT servers and are actually using it now. We've got things like vMotion, moving loads dynamically from this piece of IT infrastructure to this piece, maybe even from this data center physical building to another data center in another continent. So there's no such thing as a static load anymore. It's not just a big resistor in the data center producing heat. You don't know from 1 hour to the next whether there's 200 kilowatts of load in there or 500 or 1. And it produces a whole series of challenges. And the panel discussion was all about what the individuals, the experts in the panel and the audience felt, how the data center industry was going to deal with this.
And I imagine there are no quick fixes or easy solutions.
No, I think there was an interesting position. All of the panelists felt that there was a need to start to integrate even tighter together the mechanical, electrical, the facilities area, the IT area, and start to have one control the other, or at least inform the other as to what's happening, so that as servers staged power down, they could tell mechanical infrastructure, hey, we don't need quite so much UPS, you can stage the UPS modules out, maybe stage chilling, cooling down. Although that in itself introduces some challenges. One of the panelists actually said that they felt gluing these things together with software and control systems was a disaster waiting to happen, and this was a system that was never going to be controllable in that way. It was too complex. And I think one of the big ahas of the panel was that there was a guy missing from the panel, and that was the software guy. At the end of the day, the data center, all that mechanical, electrical stuff, all of the IT equipment is there just to provide an environment for the software, which is the thing delivering the services, the value out of the data center. So we asked the question, well, from a standardization and trying to grapple with the complexity and interdependency in the data center, should it be the mechanical and electrical engineers trying to define the standards for the data center? Should it be the IT people, or actually should it be the people that we've created this environment for? Neil made a very poignant comment about the fact that we're the tail trying to wag the dog here. It perhaps is a bit backwards. So yeah, very interesting discussion on that front.
Okay, well you've raised a whole other topic now of metrics and measuring things that you're working on. Perhaps we'll talk with you about that at a later date. Thanks a lot, Zahl.
Thank you.